Your email is your enemy. Not because Google or Yahoo or Apple are evil, but because email was never designed to protect you. And today, it's the single account that can unlock your entire digital life. If you've ever sent an email assuming it was private, it's worth slowing down and looking at what email actually exposes. Email creates permanent records. Even when the message itself is encrypted, email still reveals who you talked to, when you talked to them, how often, and usually what the subject was. Add in where you logged in from and which devices you use, and you don't need to read the message to understand the relationship. That pattern alone is enough to map a life. And email isn't just communication anymore. It's identity infrastructure. Your email account is tied to your bank, your job, your school, your doctor, your social media, your cloud storage, your phone, your password resets, and your two-factor codes. If someone gets access to your email, they don't just see your messages, they can often reset everything else. That's the baseline problem. Now let's talk about Gmail. Gmail didn't invent email's weaknesses, but it magnifies them. Gmail is built to centralize your digital life and make it searchable, linkable, and analyzable across services. Your inbox connects to your calendar connects to your phone connects to location data. All of that feeds into a single account. Modern Gmail isn't about a human reading your emails. That's probably not happening. It's about correlating signals at scale, activity patterns, account behavior, device data, to build a unified profile. Email isn't spying in the movie villain sense. It's profiling by design. Once that profile exists, it doesn't matter much why it was built. What matters is that it can be used by advertisers, by automated systems, by law enforcement with a warrant or subpoena, by governments under pressure, or by attackers if your account is compromised. Email makes all of this easier because it's centralized, durable, and boring. And boring systems are the most dangerous ones because we stop paying attention to them. So where does something like Proton Mail fit into this? Proton helps. And it's important to say that clearly without overselling it. Proton encrypts email contents in a way that prevents Proton itself from reading your messages. That's a real improvement over traditional providers. It collects less data by default and is designed to reduce how much information gets pooled into a single corporate profile. If you're moving away from Gmail, Proton is a meaningful step in the right direction. But this is the part people usually get wrong, so listen carefully. Proton does not make email safe. First, encryption has limits. Proton's strongest protections apply when both the sender and the recipient are using Proton, or when you use special encrypted messages. The moment you email someone on Gmail, Outlook, or Yahoo, that message leaves Proton's protected environment. Second, encryption does not erase metadata. Email still exposes who contacted whom, when, how often, and from where. That information alone can be extremely revealing over time. And third, Proton is not outside the law. In the past, Proton has complied with lawful government requests by turning over information they had access to, such as account metadata or IP logs, when legally compelled. That doesn't mean Proton is lying about encryption. It means no email provider can protect information they don't have, or data the law requires them to produce. Security isn't about finding a tool that breaks the rules. It's about understanding which rules still apply. If you create an account, log in from identifiable locations, and communicate with people who aren't using encryption, there will always be a trail. Proton reduces exposure. It does not eliminate it. If email is the battlefield, Proton is better armor. It is not invisibility. This is where people get themselves into trouble. They switch tools and assume the problem is solved, when the real problem is the system itself. Email is optimized for reliability and permanence, not discretion. That's why it's great for receipts, confirmations, and logistics, and terrible for sensitive strategy or anything that could be misinterpreted later. Email remembers. Email connects. Email creates long-lived records that outlast context. So the real question isn't, which email provider should I use? The real question is, when should I not be using email at all? Email is fine for low-risk transactional communication, scheduling, updates, things you'd be comfortable seeing in a database years from now. Email is not a good tool for vulnerable conversations, sensitive organizing, or anything that depends on long-term secrecy. That's not paranoia. That's understanding incentives and design. There are other private email options besides Proton, and different providers make different trade-offs. Proton is the most popular for a reason: usability, defaults, and a growing ecosystem. But no email provider changes the underlying reality of how email works. And it's worth remembering that Proton is more than just email. They also offer things like a VPN and a password manager, tools people often misunderstand. And I'll break down what those actually do and don't protect in future videos. Privacy tools are not a perfect shield. They're part of a strategy. The deeper move is learning when to switch tools, when to switch mediums, and when not to create a permanent record at all. If you want practical, non-hysterical explanations of how these systems actually work, subscribe. This isn't about panic, it's about not being naive. And remember this going forward: your inbox knows too much.